Have you been watching the show?
He doesn't realise it's Richard Arnold doing it.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
No, that would be fun. Well, a very good reason to be tuning in tomorrow.
Thank you very much, Benjamin.
Fantastic, fantastic. Listen, lovely Claire's here. We've been having a running theme all week with little Claire. She is living the weather. She's like her own giant bit of seaweed. She is what the weather's doing.
What have you come as,
Earlier,
Claire,
when
darling?
it was bad in the week, she was virtually dead on her knees, weren't you?
Yes, I was,
Crikey.
yes. But
Today,
now,
a dress covered in sunshine.
Yeah,
I've
got suns on my dress. And clouds as well.
So is that good news? Does that tell us all?
Yes, it does.
What does the belt imply?
Sorry?
What does the belt imply?
Oh, that's the horizon.
Oh, she's good.
But look at this, isn't this lovely? This is a lovely sort of sunrise across London.
That's the
and
gherkin.
yes, I think we can expect some dry weather this weekend and some bright weather from time to time. So it's looking pretty good. Like this behind me. Let's take a look.
GMTV Weather, sponsored by Nestlé Cereals. Whole grain for the whole family every morning.
Oh, wow.
Not everywhere seeing some dry weather today. We are seeing some damp conditions across western areas of Scotland. That's because the winds coming in are from the Atlantic, just a weak front here, giving spits and spots of rain, some low misty cloud. But inland it will be dry, and dry across the eastern side of Scotland down towards northeast England. Northwest England could see some low cloud this morning, as well as Northern Ireland. Again, the odd spot or two of rain can't be ruled out. But then through the morning into the afternoon, it should dry up a little bit. Further south then, that's the picture this morning. You can see where the brighter weather is. There generally is a lot of cloud, but it's a mostly dry scenario. And again, in places such as perhaps the Limb Peninsula, seeing a little bit more sort of drizzle through the morning. But during the afternoon, it will tend to dry up. And that will help temperatures up to probably around, I'd say 19 to 21 degrees Celsius. Quite a brisk breeze coming in from the northwest, so not a particularly warm direction. But even so, I'd say in shelter across eastern and southern areas, it's going to feel fairly warm in the sunshine. Heading further north then, this is the picture this afternoon. You can see it's drying up across northwest England as well as Northern Ireland. But again, it's a windward coast really where we are likely to continue to see that low cloud and the odd spot or two of drizzle. Brighter skies across to the east of Scotland as well as northeast England. But because the wind's coming in over the Highlands, it's going to be a bit bumpy as it heads across Aberdeenshire, Fife and Dundee. So you could see experience some strong gusts here. Even so, a fairly pleasant day. And this is the picture tomorrow. To be honest, it's a repeat performance. And then later on in the day, we could see again a little bit of drizzle coming down towards the Cheshire Gap there. But generally speaking, it's a dry and fine day. With sunshine as premium, it'd be again favoured spots to the east of Scotland, as well as southeast, southwest England, and temperatures 20 Celsius. So this is the picture for the weekend. Let's take a look and see what's happening. Because of the wind direction, it's going to be the west, where you'll see more in the way of clouds, some outbreaks of rain, quite strong winds. And this sinks its way southwards on Sunday. But to the north, you'll see sunshine, and also to the south, where it will remain dry. Here's just something. For your local weekend weather, visit our website, gm.tv.
Good morning. Police appeal for a vital witness to get in touch as they reveal Rhys Jones's killer may have been captured on CCTV.
Prison officers return to work but warn of further industrial action if their pay demands aren't met.
And stealing the show, Keira Knightley sweeps into Venice for the opening of the film festival. That's what's happening today, Thursday, the 30th of August, 2007. Good morning to you. You're watching GMTV Today. It's just coming up to 8 o'clock.
So she was pretty in pink as she swept into Venice, but is Keira Knightley, an Oscar contender. Our very own Carla Romano is in Venice for us. Morning, Carla.
Well, if you ask me, her performance has got Oscar written all over it. And last night, she looked every inch the Hollywood princess. Well, the Hollywood big guns are beginning their invasion, peddling their movies, the movies that you're going to get to see in the cinema over the next year. And lucky for you, I'm here to give you the heads up. I'll see you after 9 o'clock. Ciao.
OK, Carla, thanks very much indeed. And also in the next half hour, James Blunt. Yes, he's here. His new album's about to be released, and he's singing his new single for us live this morning. And it's corking.
And also, would you undergo plastic surgery just to please your partner? We're talking about that later on. I'm very keen to hear what you think. Email us, gm.tv.
We just want to hear your views on pregnancy and stress, because a new report out this morning says that secret worries, the sort of things we don't like to tell our partners about, even our family about, are leaving many women stressed out during pregnancy, which of course isn't great for the baby. So gm.tv for your emails. Is it a really stressful time?
First, though, as the time approaches 8 o'clock, the parents of murdered schoolboy Rhys Jones have this morning been visiting the spot where their son died. Melanie and Stephen Jones read messages of support laid at the Fear Tree pub in Liverpool. Meanwhile, detectives hunting the killer are studying CCTV footage, which they think shows the gunman just minutes before the fatal shot was fired. Matt Arnold is in Liverpool.
Good morning, Kate. Well, in the last half an hour, which has been truly a very moving one, as you rightly say, the parents of murdered Rhys have been here at the Memorial of Flowers behind me, and I was able to talk to them for a few moments. They didn't want to do a live TV interview, and you can understand that. They were very happy, though, for me to report their feelings this morning, and they are that in the case of Melanie, she's very worried that the flowers behind are going to get ruined in the rain, which I found very touching indeed. And as far as Steve was concerned, he was very keen to make the point that they want to keep this story in the public eye. They want the police to catch the killer of their son, and any information that can come forward that hasn't come forward, they want to bring that out from this community. Now, joining me here is Keith and Lorraine Doyle, the landlord and landlady of the pub behind. You also met with me, the parents up here. Keith, it was emotional, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, it was, as I say, it was totally unexpected. Just seeing them there, and where we've had people send mail to the pub and letters for me to give to the parents. I've wanted to meet them, but didn't know, or didn't think I could just go around and knock on the door. I was trying to find somebody who knew them well enough to ask. So when I seen them here, I just thought, well, I'll come over and introduce myself.
Lorraine, if I can ask you, what do you think their state of mind was this morning? How did they come over to you?
They came over, she's still very devastated, but I don't think it's hit her. It's hit home, because she's had that much on her mind and things. It's just, it was heartbreaking for me to meet her this morning, actually. It was really heartbreaking.
It's almost impossible to imagine what is going through their minds, but they were very clear to me about how they wanted to keep the profile of this case up.
They definitely want to keep the profile going as long as they can. The more they keep going the profile, hopefully the more we'll find the person who did this.
And Keith, you unfortunately met the first night when it happened because you were mistakenly keeping her back from the scene of the shooting without knowing who she was.
No, well, it's I was trying to stop people coming over and just looking, and it's the kind of thing you'd always see. People want to be nosy, but it wasn't the kind of thing that anybody should have had to look at. And once Melanie said it was Rhys's mum, you know, I was gutted, because there's nothing you can say or do. And she's a very, very strong woman. I think once the person's caught who's done this, I think it'll probably sink in a bit more, and she'll be able to deal with just that, where at the moment she's got so many things going through her mind because she wants the person caught who's done it, you know. So,
well, Keith and Lorraine, thank you very much for sharing those thoughts of meeting the parents of Rhys Jones this morning. They were very, very solid. I was very impressed in how solid they were, Kate.
Thanks, Matt. Like you say, you can't fail to be moved hearing them speak, can you? Good to speak to you this morning, and we're going to get the rest of the news you're waking up to now. Here's Priya.
Thanks, Kate. A 3-year-old girl is under police guard after surviving a gun attack that left 3 men dead and 2 women wounded in Hertfordshire. Detectives are hunting 2 men who were seen at the house in Bishop Stortford just before the shooting on Tuesday. Jonathan Swain is live at the scene now. Jonathan.
Well, this morning, more flowers are being laid here and more clues and details are beginning to emerge as to what happened here on Tuesday night. Still a fairly large police presence here outside the house, which is just down that road, look, with the white tent there. And the 3-year-old girl, who is now under police protection, would have witnessed some horrific things inside that house on Tuesday evening. And it's being suggested that she may well hold some vital clues as to who may well be behind these murders. But trying to get any information out of a toddler, particularly in these circumstances, is going to prove particularly difficult for the police. It's also emerged that 2 of the 3 men who were killed have been named locally as Keith Cowell, the 52-year-old, his 17-year-old son Matthew. 2 women as well inside the house are also in hospital under police protection. And it's being suggested that 2 Asian drug dealers killed the men in a row over just £600. And that's one theory that the police will be working on today.
Jonathan, thank you. A fifth of all 17 and 18-year-old drivers have got behind the wheel drunk, according to a new survey. A smaller number admitted driving under the influence of drugs. The figures from the road safety charity Break also suggested a third of teens have been drunk or drugged as a passenger. have been in a car with a drunk or drugged driver. Prison officers are returning to work this morning after a surprise strike over pay and conditions yesterday. The government described the action as illegal and unjustified and obtained a High Court injunction to force the officers back to work. The Prison Officers Association defended the decision to strike.
We have 8 prison officers a day assaulted. That's 1 every 3 hours. Every 3 hours you look at your watch today, a prison officer will be carted off to hospital with serious injuries. The morale in the prison service is rock bottom, has been for many years.
University officials at Virginia Tech could have saved lives if more information was given during the campus massacre 4 months ago. That's the conclusion of an investigation into the shootings that left 33 people dead. The panel said that warning students and staff after the first 2 shootings would have given people a better chance. There are reports this morning of a small earthquake in central Manchester. The tremor, which measured 2.4 on the Richter scale, was recorded by the British Geological Survey at 5:46 this morning. There are no reports, thankfully, of any damage to property or any casualties. Now, it was a good night for British football in Europe as Celtic and Arsenal both got through to the group stages of the Championship League. Celtic beat Spartak Moscow 4-3 in penalties, while Arsenal trumped Sparta Prague 3-0. It will be Arsenal's 10th consecutive season in the Champions League. And on our website this morning, why the average first-time buyer's mortgage has tripled in the last 10 years. We reveal why time-wasting workers are costing their employers millions. And a new report says British holidaymakers are driving 15 billion miles a year. All that and more on GM.TV. Finally, a dog called Trouble has become one of the richest animals in the world after being left $12 million in her owner's will. Hotelier Leona Hemsley, who was known as the Queen of Mean in America, died earlier this month. 2 of her grandchildren weren't so lucky, though. They got absolutely nothing. What a rough deal. Now then, it's 8:07. Here's what's happening where you are.
Priya, good morning. The main stories here in the northwest. First, the parents of Rhys Jones, the schoolboy shot dead in Liverpool, have this morning revisited the scene of their son's murder. Melanie and Stephen spent more than half an hour at the scene. They viewed the hundreds of flowers and read messages left by well-wishers at the makeshift shrine. The 11-year-old was shot dead as he walked home from football training. Last night, exactly a week on from his death, officers stopped and searched cars in the Croxteth Park area. Police are appealing for a key witness who had contacted them to come forward again. Detectives are also continuing to hold a 15-year-old boy in connection with his murder. A woman's died after a fire at her home in St Helens. The 54-year-old, who's not yet been named, died after discarded cigarettes set fire to her flat on Aldean Street early this morning. A Manchester man who suffered serious injuries after a drink-driving accident is calling for a zero alcohol limit for newly qualified drivers. Christopher Lee crashed a relative's car into a lamppost when he was just 16. A survey by the charity Break, published today, reveals that 1 in 4 teenagers in the northwest has admitted to driving under the influence.
When you're young, you think you know it all. You don't realise that the consequences of your actions. People seem to think it's okay to have 2 or 3 pints and then just drive home. It's okay to have a couple of smokes and then drive a car, but it's not.
On to sport, and Manchester City secured a place in the 3rd round of the Carling Cup last night after beating Bristol City 2-1. City were well on top after going ahead through a first-half goal from Emil Mpenza. The home side did manage to level the scoreline after half-time, only to have Rolando Bianchi drill home a powerful shot to settle it. Finally, there's been a small earthquake in Manchester this morning. The British Geological Survey say it happened in the city centre just before 6 o'clock. It measured 2.4 on the Richter scale, and it was the 3rd such quake to hit Manchester this month. So did you feel anything this morning? If so, then email us at the usual address, or you can send us a text to 63332, and don't forget to start the text with the word Granada. Well, that's it for now. I'm back just after 11. In a moment, we'll return to Andrew and Kate, but first a look at the region's weather.
Be ready for all changing light conditions. Here's the weather forecast, brought to you by Transitions Lenses.
It'll be a fairly cloudy start to the day with the threat of some patchy drizzly rain at first, mainly in western parts. It should improve this afternoon with a few brighter intervals developing. Highs of around 18 degrees Celsius, 64 degrees Fahrenheit.
Hello there. Now, of course, this time last week, we all woke up to the news that 11-year-old Rhys Jones had been shot dead near his home in Liverpool, and police hunting his killer have revealed this morning that they have CCTV footage of the hooded gunman that they believe murdered Rhys. Meanwhile, detectives are, of course, still urging witnesses to the crime to come forward. And we're going to be talking to Heidi Range in a moment, who you'll all know more from the group Sugar Babes, who also grew up in that area. But first, Matt Arnold looks back on the shooting that has truly shocked Britain.
A week ago this morning, Merseyside awoke to the shock of Rhys's shooting. Phil Neville and other Everton players laid a wreath and signed shirts after the weekend's tributes at Goodison Park, where Rhys was a season ticket holder. That same day, Melanie and Steve Jones poured scorn on the parents of Rhys's killer.
If their parents had any thought about our pain and what we've lost, they'd turn in their son.
Locals in the Fir Tree pub wept as they watched. The Joneses say they now want to leave the area.
We've got to move somewhere else. We've got another son there.
It's a question of how would you feel every day going up to the shops to see past the spot where your son's died.
A minute's applause on Tuesday night, Anfield standing as one for all of Liverpool. Z Cars then You'll Never Walk Alone, a truly moving occasion. On Wednesday, police were still searching damn wood a mile away from the crime scene, possibly for a weapon. Last night, police questioned people a week on, hoping to jog memories and bring forward vital information. 7 days that have shaken a city to its core, but as yet still no answers as to who killed this popular and much-loved 11-year-old.
Well, Heidi Range from the Sugar Babes grew up just a few miles from where Rhys Jones was killed, and she joins us from Croxteth. Now, good morning to you, Heidi. I guess it's been a sad week for everyone. Everyone's really felt for Melanie and Stephen Jones, but I guess it must have really touched a chord with you because you know the area so well. How did you hear about it first? What did you think when you first heard?
I first heard it was a phone call from my mum. I was down in London. And I was with friends from Liverpool at the time, and my mum called us to tell us.
And what did you think?
And obviously it was just devastating. It's just heartbreaking that this is going on, and it's happened to such a young boy who didn't deserve it.
So you grew up not far from that area yourself, and your dad grew up on the estate, and your mum, I understand, still works in the area as well. So to tell us about that, what she said to you about it and what you feel about the area.
I've always, looked at it. It's a nice area, and I grew up like 10 minutes down the road. My dad lived here for a number of years, and my mum still works here, so I've always felt that it's a safe area, and I think everybody's just really shocked that this has happened.
So what do you think has gone wrong?
Pardon?
What do you think's gone wrong, sort of from the area that you knew when you were growing up to an area where something like this could happen?
I don't know whether it's necessarily the area. I think this is not just a problem in Liverpool. I think this is all over the country. It's sad that these things are happening nowadays. The kids have got guns and knives, and this shouldn't be going on. It shouldn't be like this. I think something needs to be done because this is happening everywhere now.
Yeah, it's certainly frightening. I suppose one of the few positive things we can look at on this is the response from the local community, the positive response from the local community. We can see the flowers behind you there, and I know Melanie and Stephen Jones have visited the scene earlier on this morning. Has that kind of made you feel proud in a way from the area we came from, that people have been so supportive?
I think that's one of the things that I'm most proud about about being from Liverpool is that, you know, in any situation, there's always a community atmosphere and everybody stands together. And I hope that the family, obviously they're going through a traumatic, devastating time, but I hope that they're finding some comfort from knowing that, you know, everybody is thinking of them and praying for them.
Yes, I think we all hope that too. And I suppose even though there has been this extraordinarily positive response, there's also been, in a sense, a concern that the parents or the culprits responsible for this shooting have still not come forward. What would you say to those people?
I would just say that please come forward if anyone's got any information. I do know that the police had an anonymous call at 11:20 on Saturday evening, and they really want to speak to that person again specifically. But anybody with information, please come forward to help Reese's parents, you know, come to terms with what's happened and do the right thing by contacting the police.
Do you understand people, having known that over well, do you understand why people might be nervous of coming forward? What would you say if people were nervous and so perhaps that's what's stopping them?
I think people will be nervous because, you know, they'll be frightened of going to the police because obviously, you know, they could feel threatened about the people. But the police have said that they will, you know, take care of witnesses, so please come forward with any information.
Yeah. Thank you very much for being to us this morning, Heidi. Thank you very much indeed.
It's 16 minutes past 8. We've got lots more to come between now and 9:25, including the rise in plastic surgery. Apparently, British women go under the knife to please their partners. If you've had surgery or you're considering it, do email us. Let us know what your motivation was. gm.tv. Really interested to find out.
And up next, Mr. James Blunt. Yes, he doesn't need any more introduction than that, really, does he? We're going to talk to him right after this break.
Nearly half of UK adults are not eating breakfast every day. Are you one of them?
Perhaps it's because you think there's not enough time and you don't feel hungry. Evidence shows that people who eat cereal for breakfast are less likely to be overweight than those who don't. Eating breakfast can help kickstart the metabolism and help to maintain a healthier diet overall. In fact, a 30-gram bowl of fortified cereal contains less than 200 calories.
So make sure you eat breakfast daily to make the first step towards a more balanced diet.
I can see clearly now.
Are you looking forward to summer, but not to wearing your swimsuit? Then have a bowl of Special K for breakfast and again for lunch or dinner for 2 weeks. That's 2 bowls, 2 meals, 2 weeks. And see if you can get a slimmer waist for summer. The Special K Slimmer Waist for Summer Challenge.
Okie dokie. Breakfast. How's that maraca coming along?
It's going to sound great.
Well, you know I could make rice make a sound without shaking it. First, Mr. Kellogg's takes a grain of rice, fluffs it up and turns it into a Rice Krispie. Add the milk and listen to the band. You know I used to be in a band, don't you? Have I ever told you about it?
Yeah, you have.
All right.
Kellogg's Rice Krispies. Simple goodness.
New multigrain cornflakes are made with wheat, corn and rice, so they're bursting with the goodness of 3 grains. New multigrain cornflakes with the goodness of 3 grains.
So, from the quarterly figures, we see that
The more I see you, the more I want you.
If you've only got one thing on your mind before lunch, you should try new Special K Sustain.
Just girls and girls.
Delicious new Special K Sustain contains extra protein and fibre. See if it can keep you satisfied for longer. New Special K Sustain. It's called special for a reason.
Cocoa Pops create Creations. Now breakfast is 4 times more fun. 4 choptastically different types of Cocoa Pop cereals. Mix them up and create your own special breakfast.
Now, let the fun begin! New Cocoa Pops Creations make a bowl full of fun.
It's the only start you could possibly have to your weekend. Richard Arnold with his army of guests. On the front line, Jack Coleman becomes a hero. Holding on in the trenches, Katie Tunstall performs. And fighting for gossip, it's Ross King and the lovely Deborah Stevenson talks telly. The Richard Arnold Show, tomorrow on GMTV.
20 past 8, watching GMTV Today. Lovely to have you with us this morning. The main headlines that you're waking up to are that the parents of murdered schoolboy Reece Jones have this morning been visiting the spot where their son died, while detectives examine CCTV images of who they think is the killer. A fifth of all 17 and 18-year-old drivers have got behind the wheel drunk, according to a new survey. And today's weather, most places will stay dry but cloudy with the best sunshine across the southeast. It's going to feel cool and breezy as well, though, with some drizzly rain around too.
Now then, his first album, Back to Bedlam, sold over 11 million copies around the world, topped the charts for a remarkable 9 weeks. And James Blunt is back with his second album, All Lost Souls, and a great new single, 1973, as well. And he's here with us. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Good. It feels like we haven't seen you for years. Have you just had your feet up, enjoying this beacon sunshine?
A healthy break. No, I've been away on tour around the States and the rest of the world. I went in a bus for 2.5 years and had the most amazing experience, and I finished that in November.
When you say amazing, does that actually mean exhausting?
2.5 years in a bus?
Yeah, you know, I'm obviously a closet caravanner at heart.
You should meet Darren on camera too.
Oh.
He's a member of the caravan
He's not closet enough about his caravanning,
but
frankly.
Can you spot the similarities? They've both got facial hair.
No.
Well,
no.
Always room on the bus. So, no, you know, I have a great band and we hit the road and we did it properly, so it was great fun. And since then I went away to a Spanish island, Ibiza, and got there on my own and wrote a new album, All the Lost Souls. And I recorded that in Los Angeles, and I've just finished.
Is it quite exciting? Because, I mean, I think it was November that you eventually got back to Ibiza and chilled out and started writing the album. I mean, with all that work that you've put in and the 2 years that you've had touring stuff, is it quite exciting to have a new record after the success of Back to Bedlam, which is phenomenal?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, we toured with 10 songs from my first album, you know, and after a while you think, well, it would be nice to have some new ones. It's great now to have an album that we as a band are over the moon with.
Yeah.
And really exciting to get back out and sing something new.
How do you feel about singing You're Beautiful now?
You know, it just got incredible support. Here in Britain, I just had phenomenal support, and it really lit up. And without that support, it wouldn't have taken across the whole world as it did. So I'm very glad that I did, and for the rest of the songs off Back to Bedlam. But sure, I am glad for a new one.
I bet you are. It's the rest. Sorry, did you want to say something?
Yeah, if that's all right.
Oh, okay.
I'd imagine that you probably don't have to sing it anymore, though, do you? Just start it and then listen to the audience sing it. It's one of those extraordinary things.
I think, yeah, Robbie Williams does that with Angels.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lots. You know, on the tour, we had to play all the songs. It was, you know, we only had the 10, so normally I'm singing all of them rather than just the one. But yeah, it's healthy to have some more.
I bet it is.
It was phenomenally successful. We talked about sort of the 11 million albums, and when you came over and you hit, because I think Beautiful was your third single that came out, wasn't it? The first single that we knew of James Blunt, and then suddenly this huge furore started, and it took 6 weeks, got to #1, and then this massive sort of pressure and sort of success very quickly, and everyone was talking about James Blunt, and you Back to Bedlam was in the charts for weeks and weeks and weeks, and then suddenly, which happens over here, there's this backlash as well, and there was a lot of criticism came out about you from a lot of the musos and this and the other. How did you cope with that side of it, having suddenly sort of achieved this extraordinary success, and then suddenly facing all this criticism?
You know, I think it's something you've got to expect with everything that does go up. You've got to expect an equal and opposite reaction downwards. And you know, and music is subjective and it's people's opinions, and it's not a formula, and that's only a good thing. And yeah, we give each other a little bit of grief here in Britain, and we do it well. And it's, you know, it's to be expected.
It was quite harsh though as well. Do you not think? I mean, at times I remember reading some things and thinking that's just not.
I was furious.
Well, as a sort of
big fan,
particularly, but it's felt a little bit harsh.
Well, you know, it came with it, and you know,
You're being very diplomatic, James.
I think, you know, I read some things in the press occasionally, and friends would tell me about it, but people I'd bump into on the street would come up and say how much they liked it, and, you know, and people who we met on the road, again, had connected with the music, and the regular people I met seemed to enjoy it, so...
And that's always the most important thing, of course,
It's
isn't it?
jealousy. That's what it is. That's what it comes down to.
And the new album, All Lost Souls, which is coming out very shortly, and the new single, 1973, which isn't about when he was born, it was about the nightclub that was created in 1973, where you seem to have spent a lot of your youth.
Yeah, yeah, 1973 was the year that a famous nightclub called Pasha opened in Ibiza, but in 2006 I spent far too much time there with a friend, so it's a celebration of those times with a sense of nostalgia as they move on.
You see, I love that. It's a very romantic sort of way of celebrating your first, or that nightclub that was so important. Millionaires in Ilford, which was mine, probably wouldn't have been quite so exciting, would it?
I'm not sure it's...
It's not got the same ring.
Doesn't work,
but it was 2 for 1.
I bet there's a blue plaque outside.
Yeah, do you reckon?
Ben Shepherd disgraced himself here.
Regularly. It's lovely to see you, James. It's really great to have you back. And like we say, we've had the single and we've seen that fascinating and wonderful performance in Ibiza, which just seems like a really idyllic place to be living.
Yeah, really. I was lent a villa by someone to get a whole lot of journalists in, and we did a performance as the sun went down behind us, and it was, a very special night.
Yeah, we got to see that. Well, we're going to get to hear the single very shortly as well. So thank you very much for coming in.
Thanks for having me
best of luck with the new album and the single as well.
Thank you.
You see, the swings down, the swings back up again when the album's released, you can betcha. So James is going to get head off to sing in a minute. But first, you may not be able to control what your child eats during the day. We can't really control our children at all, can we?
Can't control you, let alone the children.
Oh, it's lovely to have you back, by the way. I've gone all naughty again now you're back. I've been so well behaved with Mr. Castle.
He wouldn't let you get away with it, would he, that Castle?
He wouldn't, he's strict. Here's nutritionist Amanda Hamilton.
Help your child have a healthy diet by making sure they eat well when they come home from school. Kids are really hungry at this time, so have a healthy snack on standby to keep them going. And if time really is a big issue for you, try batch cooking and freezing at weekends to really make your life easier. Always serve vegetables or salad with your child's dinner, and remember, you're leading by example, so you have to eat them too. And soup with wholesome bread is a real winner for most. But make sure you include some form of protein like lentils, chickpeas or chicken to make it a more complete meal. So learn to disguise vegetables in things like a really tasty stir fry, or you can even blend them into a good old tomato pasta sauce. Only give water with meals. Diluted and processed fruit juices can fill kids up with empty sugars.
Look forward to back to school with Tesco. Every little helps.
Don't let spots get in your way. T-Zone, with natural antibacterial ingredients, helps fight the causes of spots. Spots can't handle the T-Zone.
TravelSupermarket.com compares the rates of over 100,000 hotels, over 50 car hire companies, and millions of flights, comparing quotes from online travel agents, tour operators, and budget and charter airlines.
Cool. We need to fly to Barcelona.
As soon as possible. TravelSupermarket.com compares the market in seconds, making it easy for you to choose the best deal. TravelSupermarket.com, the price comparison site.
I'm Nadine Baggett, Celebrity Beauty Editor. There's a beauty product that's been splashed across page after page of magazines and newspapers. It contains what I think is a must-have anti-aging ingredient, pentapeptides, and it can give you dramatically younger-looking skin without any drama about the price. So what's the product everyone's talking about? Olay Regenerist. It used to be my little secret. Now Olay Regenerist is the worst-kept secret in beauty. To read the buzz for yourself, go to olay.co.uk.
The new collection from Simply Be. From the catwalk to your door. In sizes 14 to 32. All sizes, one price. Easy returns. 10% off your first order exclusively for new customers. The latest looks, All the answers, whenever you want them. Call 0800 142 143 for a catalogue or go to simplybee.co.uk.
Dad, can this tarantula really kill? And how does this centipede spear its prey?
Whoa! Find out with Real Life Bugs and Insects, the new magazine that comes with real creepy crawlies, all preserved in solid plastic. See them close up. Discover the world's most fascinating creatures. Real Life Bugs and Insects, Part 1, The Manchurian Scorpion.
No pesticides, no nasty smells, no laborious combing. Hedrin, a breakthrough head lice treatment that works. Use your head. Use your Hedrin.
At WH Smith, there's up to 75% off loads of cool stuff for back to school. I'd give that 10 out of 10 for savings. Back to school. Think WH Smith.
It's typical you'll get nasty stains on your bright summer clothes. How do you remove them without fading the colour?
Here's a brilliant solution. New Vanish Oxy Action Multi with Colour Protect. Just 1 scoop in every wash removes these tough stains and it won't fade your colours.
Great, show me.
It's so easy to use. While that's working, let me show you how it powers through your wash. Those stains have gone.
Wow, that's amazing.
And no damage to the colour, even after 20 washes.
Time to dig out all my summer clothes.
New Vanish Oxy Action Multi with Colour Protect. 1 scoop in every wash. Trust pink, forget stains.
For dramatically younger looking skin, I recommend Olay Regenerist. But I'm not the only one. You can see what other beauty journalists have to say at olay.co.uk.
Help your children get all the benefits of omega-3 fish oil in a delicious fruity taste. Fantastic! Halib Orange Omega-3 Fish Oil.
Once a year, the world's brightest stars outshine the world's most stunning city. Join the maestros of movie making at one of the greatest celebrations of cinema. The 2007 Venice Film Festival starts tomorrow on GMTV.
GMTV Weather, sponsored by Nestlé Cereals. Whole grain for the whole family, every morning.
Hello there. A rather cloudy start to the day across Scotland and Northern Ireland. We're seeing some patchy drizzle across the Windward coast here. But to the lee of the higher ground, it'll be rather blustery, but you could see some drier interludes. And also perhaps some sunshine coming through across Northumberland, Tyne and Wear down towards East Yorkshire. Further south then, as you can see for Northern Ireland, it's a bit of a damp start, as well as northwest England and northern parts of Wales. But to the south of that, mostly dry, a lot of clouds and perhaps a little bit of sunshine from time to time. Let's have a look at the temperatures then. At the very best, 21 degrees Celsius, 70 Fahrenheit. Further north, we can see some brightness in the east, always a bit damp in the west. Back to you two.
Thank you very much, Claire. I do apologise if you had some sound problems with Claire's mic there. We will investigate and get it sorted.
Now, we've got some breaking news for you. More on the investigation into the murder of 11-year-old Rhys Jones. The 15-year-old youth who is being questioned by detectives in Liverpool has just been released on police bail. Bring you more details on that as we get it.
The time is 28 minutes to 9. We have plenty to come between now and 9:25. James Blunt is ready at the piano and waiting to perform his new single for you in just a moment.
And up-and-coming actor Hugh Dancy. The girls on the night team are very excited about this. When I came in this morning, they were full of joy about Hugh Dancy coming in. He's here to tell us about his new movie, in which he stars with his off-screen girlfriend, Claire Danes.
And also we're talking about being stressed when pregnant. Should be a happy time, but apparently many women harbour secret worries. I'm going to be meeting one mum who's brave enough to talk to us about those in 20 minutes' time.
Now, we talked to him earlier. James Blunt is here to perform his new single.
Yeah, it's out on Monday. It's called 1973.
I had known that what seemed so strong has been and gone. I would call you up every Saturday night and we'd both stay out till the morning light and we'd singing, here we go again. Simona, wish I was sober, so I could see clearly now. The rain has gone. Simona, I guess it's over. My memory plays out to the same old song. I would call you up every Saturday night, and we'd both stay out till the morning light, and we sang, here we go again. And though time goes by, I will always be in a club with you in 1973, singing, here we go again. And we'd both stay out till the morning light, and we sang, here we go again. And though time goes by, I will always be in a club with you in 1973, singing, here we go again. I would call you up every Saturday night, and we'd both stay out till the morning light, and we sang, here we go again. And though time goes by, I will always be in a club with you in 1973, singing, here we go again. And though time goes by, I will always be in a club with you in 1973.
Thank you very much, James. Great to see you and the guys. Thank you for coming in.
Brilliant. Now, here's a question for you. What would you do to make yourself more attractive to a man? Some have suggested I've done a few things here and there, put my hair up, for instance.
It works. Got a lovely neck.
Well done. Well, according to new research, British women are more likely than Americans to have cosmetic surgery to please their partners. Shocking, that one, I think. Television programmes like 10 Years Younger, which is on tonight, have made it more acceptable for people to consider surgery. Have a look at this.
More and more of us, it seems, are prepared to face wince-making pain to get that younger, slimmer, beach-toned bod. Last year, the British Association of Aesthetic Plastic Surgeons recorded a 90% rise in liposuction procedures alone. But surgery like this, to remedy problems of extreme weight loss, is much less common.
Well, with us now is beauty expert and television presenter Sally Farmer. Good to see you. And Cindy Jackson, who spent thousands on surgery. Good to see both of you this morning. So, Sally, first of all, why did you have cosmetic surgery? What was the motivation?
So I'd be more attractive to men.
Really?
I'm kidding. Because
well, didn't it?
Yeah. Well, I wanted to look better generally. I wasn't no oil painting when I started, and I decided not to just have one thing done because I had more than one problem. So I had a lot of surgery to improve the entire picture. And I do think if we were just living in a one-sex world, if it was all women, women wouldn't bother, whether they're American or British. So I don't really agree with the survey at all.
So you think that it is, in a sense, largely to do, or in part to do, with appealing to the opposite sex?
Well, men have surgery too to appeal to women. I think it's across the board. We want to be more attractive, and the definition of attractive means you want to attract. So yes, of course we have it. We want to look better for the opposite sex. I do believe that.
So what made you think then that you needed this change? Who was telling you that you didn't look great? Where
General
was the
feedback.
message coming from? When we were going between the street?
mirror.
Yeah, no. Where did the impulse come from? Did you had bad experiences? What What made you think?
Well, I got teased about my big nose. I got teased about my thunder thighs. But mainly, I would see other women who were more attractive than me getting a totally different set of well, everything. Everything they got was different. All the feedback, all the reinforcement, just...
Was there a sense, though, that you were therefore just being competitive with other women? Is that one of the things?
Oh, not at all. I couldn't compete with them. I wanted to be like the pretty girls. And I always hung around with them, hoping some of that would rub off. And I was sort of their mascot, you know. They always were nice to me because I wasn't competing with them.
It sounds like this is sad. Do you feel it's worked?
Sad?
I mean, you look gorgeous. It does sound sad. To me, it sounds
What's sad about it? I have the best of both worlds.
Oh, okay.
You know, I've...
Well, that sounds sad beforehand, that you were sort of hanging around the girls wanting to be like them. That sounds sad.
I think a lot of women do that. No, it's not sad. I've had a great life, really, and I've lived on both sides of the fence. You know, I've learned a lot. I've observed a lot. And when you're on the center stage, you can't observe like you do on the sidelines. And I've spent a lot of time observing human nature, and I learned, yes.
Okay, well, you look great.
Thank you.
Do you feel happier? Was it worth it?
Cosmetic surgery doesn't make you happy. You have to use it as a tool in your life as opposed to making it's going to make you happy. You have to be happy to begin with. But yeah, it's made me more confident. It's made me nicer looking. That's really the best you can expect from surgery. Everything else has to come from a different place.
Okay, and you know, it's a huge... Sally, as well, do you think that British women are more interested in pleasing men than American? Do you think that's something that we're more conscious of pleasing men?
I think it's always very difficult to generalise, but it's my findings in the beauty business that American women, like the lovely Cindy here, are more assertive and dominant than British women and tend to do things more for themselves, whereas I think British women possibly do things more to please their mates, or as Cindy says, to get another mate or whatever. So I would possibly go along with what this person is saying, what this research shows.
Why did you had cosmetic surgery, haven't you?
I had cosmetic surgery a long time ago when I was a teenager, many moons ago. And I was talked into it by my then boyfriend, who was my first boyfriend, who Cindy knows, a lovely chappie from Hollywood, who was very Hollywood. And
what did he want you to have done?
He wanted me to have my boobs made bigger because I was a model at the time. I was very tiny. I was the equivalent of today's size 0, but I didn't have very big boobs. I had a B. I mean, I am a B. And he said, because I wanted to be an actress, I was at drama school, and he said, if you want to be successful in films and television, which is where the money is, you need to have big bazookas. I said, everything else is fine. You've got nice straight teeth, nice colour hair, little diddy nose, but the boobs could be a bit bigger. So I had it done, didn't work, stuck to the breast wall, went rock solid. I called them my golf balls, eventually had to have them removed, and then had little lumps afterwards, which had to be removed. And now I just resort to padded bras when I need them.
And that keeps you as happy as it would have done the other way. But, you know, we're obviously seeing more cosmetic and plastic surgery, more numbers of people are having it done. Programmes like 10 Years Younger and other shows like that make it, I think, feel more accessible. Is this a good thing? Is this an empowering thing? Or is this a dangerous
playing God,
thing?
isn't it? I mean, being able to change your image. I mean, like Cindy has made herself one of the most beautiful women in the world, and you know, good for her. You are sweet. You know, gets mistaken for Claudia Schiffer by Claudia's own chauffeur. I mean,
yeah,
you know,
that happened in Dublin once.
Quite something. I don't think you actually need to go as far as plastic surgery. I think that nowadays there are all sorts of non-surgical procedures.
Padded bras.
Padded bras, good stuff, Wonder Bra. Botox and fillers and peels and non-surgical facelifts and all those sort of things. I mean, the problem with cosmetic surgery is, with any surgery, is there's a risk. There's a terrible health risk from the anaesthesia as much as anything else. I mean, do you remember the lady who wrote the First Wives Club, who died after, she was the same age as me, just over 50. She wrote the First Wives Club. She was very successful. She wanted to look younger, maybe for her man, or maybe because she was American, for herself. And she died from the anaesthesia. She had a very bad reaction to anaesthesia, and she died at 53 for...
So you have to think about the risks before you go in for this. OK, so what would you say, then, to anybody who's thinking of doing it? You'd say a note of caution, wouldn't you, Sally?
Note of caution.
Note of caution.
Do your homework. Find out as much as you can about the procedure and the surgeon, and make sure that you're doing it for the right reasons.
OK, well, good to speak to both of you this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So talking about women changing their appearance to please their partners, what about high heels?
Ah, now that's a much simpler and less, well, I was going to say less
painful.
dangerous way of doing it, but when you see some of the heels in this, you might think differently.
Yeah, they're beautiful at times, mostly impractical. Most women wouldn't be without at least 17 pairs in their wardrobe. High heels can look so good, yet can be painful. They wear 500 years to wear 500 years old today.
They're 500 years old today, high heels.
Is that the celebration
They were
bit?
invented 500 years ago.
Wow.
You wouldn't know this because you're a boy, but we all know.
No.
We all know.
High heels meant something very different to me.
I can imagine. Then we're back to that millionaires club in Ilford, aren't we? Every year, more than 8,000 women are admitted to casualty, would you believe, after tripping over high heels. Michelle Morris is very brave. She's been testing a really high pair that's been specially designed for the high heels 500th birthday.
They're responsible for turning the most sensible of women into victims of fashion. They've been the cause of many an embarrassing tumble. They can only be killer heels. And as if the 6-inch stiletto wasn't enough to bring even the likes of Kate Garraway and Lorraine Kelly to their knees, one shoe company has produced a whole new breed of heel to celebrate their 500 years in existence. And ladies, they're a foot high. Well, I've always said the higher the heel, the bigger the appeal. And with these, I think I might be onto something. So let's give it a go. And shoes.
Most girls are taller than me anyway, so...
Would you like a loan of them?
But it would be difficult going bicycling with that.
Yes, cycling wouldn't be easy. She makes a good point.
Could I fall for a lady with heels like those? Depends on the lady. By all means, yes.
Sorry, sir, when it comes to falling head over heels, I think I'll take that prize.
I like the way you move.
Very brave of Michelle to give it a go. You've got them on. You're going to try and stand up. Shall I give you a hand, see if you can stand up?
Apparently health and safety have banned me from standing up.
I'm not sure it's health and safety. That's just the dress is a bit short, isn't it? Hold on to this.
Well, you can't stand in those. They're ridiculous.
They're
12 inches of black patent.
Look at your legs, they're going for miles.
Oh, I tell you what, I really tower over you.
You're nearly the size of Andrew Castle.
This is the sort of intellectual way we are, actually, isn't it? Me up here,
very
you
similar.
down there. Last, physically, it's manifested. Brilliant. I'm going to sit back down. 12 inches.
I have to bring you girls in. You've got heels on this morning. Do you think, though, that heels can be just as important to a woman's outfit?
Oh, definitely.
Absolutely. Empowering.
You've got to, yeah. The higher the better, but I think those are a little too high.
A little too high.
Dangerous.
Yeah.
They're what they call bar shoes, aren't they? Where you
Noddy
just sit at the bar.
Spent the 70s wearing heels that high.
And have you seen the state of him? Blimey. His knees gave out years ago, didn't they?
Well, you need a constant man with you all the time to hold you up, maybe one man each side.
So it's not such a bad thing, then?
Yeah, better than plastic surgery, quicker.
OK, thank you very much for coming in, ladies. Lovely to see you this morning. If you want to know where you can buy some killer heels or just check out some celebrities wearing platform shoes.
I think they've got clothes on as well. It's not that kind of website.
OK. You can never be sure. It's the internet.
You're right.
You type in the wrong thing, you can have a whole world of fun.
It feels like a Friday today, doesn't it? Up next, we're talking to Hugh Dancy. He's one of our rising stars. He doesn't need heels to head for the stars, does he?
No, he's already
head
there.
and shoulders above everyone anyway.
Yeah, we're going to be talking to him. Chances are you're going to catch one of his movies across the autumn, and he's going to be here in a moment to tell us what he's been up to.
We're also off to New York to find out why the owner of this pooch has left it $12 million in her will. Only in America. We've said it before, and we'll say it again. That's coming up next.
Because scent affects how a baby feels, Pampers created new Naturals wipes with a touch of calming lavender for a relaxing, cleansing experience. New Naturals baby wipes, inspired by babies.
Does your car insurance get higher and higher?
Yeah, baby.
Is your no-claims bonus looking rather puny?
Yeah, baby.
Would you like to find a place where great deals are easy to trace? Then you gotta switch.
You could save up to £150 on your car insurance. Visit uswitch.com now. We're free, impartial, and compare leading insurers.
For great deals on car insurance, visit uswitch.com.
What's going on here, Foxy?
They're saving their chat for foxybingo.com.
Don't waste time with idle chit-chat. Get £5 free when you join foxybingo.com.
So, injury lawyers for you. If I had an accident, how much compensation would I receive?
That would depend entirely on the circumstances.
Well, how much money would I be expected to pay up front in a signed credit agreement, for instance?
Nothing.
Mr. Henderson, please remember where you are. Will I receive 100% of the compensation?
Yes, absolutely.
Injury lawyers for you make sure all our people give nothing but honest, professional advice on your personal injury claim. Call our team direct on 0845 345 4444 for a no loan, no credit, no catch service.
Whoa! Is that under your end or mine? Well, they better not cancel football.
Who's that?
Mike, a picture. I'm sorting out the loan.
At Picture, we don't fuss or patronise. We simply help you rearrange your credit so you can live the way you want. Call Picture now on 0800 064 4455.
We just want everything in one place so we know what we're doing. Yeah. Yes, we have a mortgage. How much do we want to borrow? Yeah. 25,000. How much is that a month? Oh, that's brilliant. That's much less than we're paying now. Well, there are lots of forms to fill in. Oh, well, one less job for her. Yeah, OK, thanks. No, bit of rain never hurt anyone. OK, cheers. Yes. You know, it's really easy to talk to those people at Picture. You can actually have an adult conversation.
About football?
Talk to Picture on 0800 064 4455. See if they can sort out a loan for you too.
The new collection from Simply Be. From the catwalk to your door. In sizes 14 to 32. All sizes, one price. Easy returns. 10% off your first order exclusively for new customers. The latest looks, all the answers, whenever you want them. Call 0800 142 143 for a catalogue or go to simplybe.co.uk. Later on this morning, from super nanny to super author, Joe Frost teaches us a thing or two about confident baby care.
He's left the peas behind and he's performing his first solo single, Will I Am, sings live.
And Sir David Attenborough on climate change, right here on our doorstep, 10:30.
Hi there, it's 8 minutes to 9, and he's one of Britain's most sought-after young actors, and he's starring in Evening and the Jane Austen Book Club, both tipped to be big films this autumn. We're joined now by Hugh Dancy. Nice to see you this morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Very well.
Two films you've got coming out. Been waiting, that's like buses, isn't it, Hugh? You wait all that time and they all come out together. Let's start talking about Evening first, which is a romantic drama, I understand.
Yes, that'd be right. It's not too easy to sum up in a very short sentence, but it's basically a list of incredible actors and actresses, mainly actresses.
Mostly actresses?
Yes, and me. It's about a woman on her deathbed, looking back over her life and remembering one period of her life back in 1953.
And sort of thinking about this. And she mentions someone's name, doesn't she?
That's right, yeah. She's got her grown-up daughters. That's Vanessa Redgrave, who's playing the dying character. And her grown-up daughters are by her side, and she mentions things that they have no kind of recognition of. So, and as she falls in and out of this memory, this delirium, you see the events of her past.
Excellent.
That's where I crop up.
Well, let's have a quick look at your accent, and then we can talk some more.
What if you and I just sang and laughed together for the rest of our lives? What if we had a few goofy kids who got our jokes and taught us some new songs, huh?
It wouldn't work.
Yes.
And we were just watching that clip, and literally Kate was chin on the floor. Aww.
They're just talking about killer lines for women and how if you say, why don't we have a couple of kids and settle down, women always get it. And just as you were saying that, I went, oh.
It's a great line.
It is.
Not
Does it work
advisable
every
to
time?
burst into tears immediately after. It doesn't work so well.
Yeah, you mentioned the cast list. There's Meryl Streep's there, Mamie Gummer, Vanessa Redgrave, Natasha Richardson, Toni Collette and Claire Danes.
That's right.
It really is just women. And you.
And me. And Patrick Wilson. We shouldn't include him in the list of women.
That must have been... no, he probably wouldn't appreciate that.
No, he probably is watching.
And in fact, 4 of them were mother and daughters as well.